Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are so honored to have award-winning author. He's the creator and founder of Conscious Stories for Children, and he is a TED Talker, Andrew Newman. Thank you so much for all your divine work.
What a pleasure.
Beautiful conscious work.
We're so excited to have you on the show. When I got this case of books, I mean, how cute is this? The bee who could not choose her flower. It speaks to me, not just children.
The child in you.
It's the little inner girl in me. I love what you've created with this. Tell us a little bit about the collection.
Well, the collection all designed to help parents connect more deeply with their kids in the last 20 minutes of the day. There's a breathing practice in the start of each book called the Snuggle Breathing Meditation. There's a reflective activity page at the end of the book. And then each book's got its own core lesson. Here we've got the Hug Who Got Stuck, teaching children to access their hearts and get free from sticky thoughts.
I love that.
The hug who got stuck. If you ever wondered what a hug looks like, it's
So I would imagine you've gone through your own awakening and, of course, coming to these truths. What was your personal story? What was that like for you?
Well, I don't think the awakening's ever over. I love the journey. When I left a family business at the age of 28, I had to work out who I was if I wasn't going to be a retail jeweler. And more than that, how I wanted to be in the world. And so I spent my 30s in healing schools, training, learning energy healing, learning about childhood developmental psychology, working out how to be a therapist as well. And then through that, rediscovered my creativity.
I'm wondering, though, you mentioned jewelry retailing or conscious mindful.
Right.
What made you choose that path?
You know, I feel the path chose me. I'm not sure that it was ever clear. I knew that something needed to change, and that it was definitely about being more person-centered than I had been.
I mean, diamond-centered isn't a bad thing, let's be honest.
Was there a moment, like for, you know, a lot of people, there's a moment where they go, I can't do this anymore. Was there a moment for you?
I actually woke up the morning after spinal surgery and said to my dad, I'm never coming back. So my health had declined to the point that I needed to pay attention. But I didn't have the language yet. I didn't know that my body was telling me things about how I was really doing, my happiness, right?
What healing modalities did you find most helpful when you're in that place?
Well, the big transformation for me was studying with a teacher called Dr. Barbara Brennan. She is author of a book, Hands of Light, and runs a 4-year transformational training program. And that opened the door for me. That was, Reiki had been the taster, and then I needed to know more about the science. I needed to feel like I had a robust qualification. And that
It's
was
great. The signs, we talk a lot about that, how the body, or if you're upset or whatever, it's like that divine discontent is really your soul, spirit saying you're not living your truth. So thank you so much for living your truth. These are incredible books that I wish I had had when my son was young. So what a gift to give to so many people. And I love that your last name's Newman, which is really creating a new man, right? So we always love to talk about the name.
Every day.
Every day, right?
But what on your journey made you decide, you know what, I'm going to write this collection of children's stories?
Well, in part it was innocent inspiration. I was just journaling, and I wrote a poem, and the poem needed some pictures. That became a little light. So I followed that innocence. The first 4 stories were like that, and then I started to hold these stories up against my therapeutic work. And all of the grown-ups coming in for healing were resolving issues that started before they were 6 years old. And I thought, wow, we've really got to bring some of the things that I'd learned on my journey. How can I make them accessible at a younger age? Support parents as our evolution is happening, as our society is changing, as our consciousness is evolving. Let's serve there.
So, sorry, go ahead. There's a concept in spirituality that actually we remember, potentially we remember when we're little children of like our past lives or whatever spiritual essence we have, and the veil goes on, who knows, somewhere between 2 and 5 or something in that. So do you think that if a child was to be conscious, that the veil wouldn't go on? Because it's really about believing a limiting belief, a false belief.
I understand the territory. I think that at about 7, the energy field of the child becomes fully formed and they individuate from their parents. I don't think that veiling process is ever going to not happen. I think it's part of development, but at the same time, we've got those first 7 years where we can they're like sponges. You can give them all of the messages, the values, the morals, the ethics that they're going to then lean on as they grow.
I love that. What would you say is the heart of healing, right? So if you had traumatic experiences as a child, and I know there are lots of different schools of thought on that, particularly from a psychology perspective, but for you, what would you say is the essence of healing?
Absolutely, presence and connection. And this is why the last 20 minutes are so important for me. In an ordinary day, we're all going to face something that makes us feel less safe to be ourselves, less like we belong, and we get a little bit challenged to be like, am I really loved? And those little micro moments of separation are healed by presence and connection.
What do you do if you're alone?
You connect with yourself. You go inwards.
I read this book, The
Right.
Hug That Got Stuck to Myself before bed now.
That's so beautiful. So I'm sure they've touched so many hearts and families around the world. Tell us about your experience of that.
Yeah, it's been a great pleasure as the collection's grown to come back and meet families who say, oh, we've got these, we need some more. What else have you written? The kids are all finding their favorites. The hug who got stuck is a certain favorite. The elephant who tried to tiptoe. Just the characters, the illustrators bring them to life in a way that I can't do. I can write the story, but then we work so closely together. They bring it to life.
What have you learned about yourself through this journey of the conscious stories?
Well, to continually trust my own creativity, also to persevere. Starting a business, particularly in publishing, isn't straightforward by any means, and also to hold true to my own vision. There was a seed right in the beginning, and if I had edited my own creative spark, I would never be here today. I had to let it live, let it breathe, and along the way then found, wow, now there's something that's formed.
Wow, that's so powerful. What teachers or authors have inspired you the most?
You know, Barbara Brennan, as I said, Jason Schulman is an amazing Kabbalistic teacher, also part of my journey. In the kid book space, similar territory. I love what Neil Donald Walsh has done. I love what Eckhart Tolle's done with his Milton's Secret Stories. Those have been fantastic. I want great conscious material to be available through a wide range of resources, schools, and families.
It's so cool. You have a real authentic nature about you. It's really clear. It's a real genuine place that you're coming from. This commitment to your own creativity. That is impressible. It's really, thank you so. I'm inspired.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody's got this creative spark in them, and so often I've seen that they will shut themselves down before they give it a chance to express. It doesn't matter whether it's editing the ingredients going into your recipe tonight or whether it's a book you're writing or a picture you're painting. That really is my encouragement, to let that first creative spark live unedited.
What do you think most gets in the way of a person letting that creative spark be fully expressed? Is it sort of an idea of success and a desire for popular, for popular opinion to sort of agree with what they've written, or what do you think gets in the way of that?
Well, we're in the territory of our negative self-beliefs, our childhood developmental model that has said somehow I'm not safe to be myself. But whether it was that innocent moment where we drew a dog and Mum picked it up and said, "That's a beautiful horse," and we're like, "Oh,
a horse!"
Because those moments are difficult to internalize and make sense of when we're 3 or 4 years old, and we start to adapt our behavior and become more defensive and less of ourselves. And those defenses play out so quickly when there's a spark of vitality and life, impulse to create something.
Love that. Can you tell us a little bit about the snuggle meditation?
Yeah, absolutely. 4 simple breaths that are breathing in. I breathe for me. I breathe for you. I breathe for us. And I breathe for all that surrounds us.
That's
How
so
does that feel
beautiful.
for you?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a much better mom because of someday. It is incredible that you are really giving the ability for parents to connect and to bond and to honor that space and be not only parents but examples. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
So
and as you
wonderful.
said, parenting's challenging, right? At the end of the day, you're tired, but for the first 7 or 8 years, there's this opportunity because you kind of have to put your little ones to bed. So why not make it a spiritual practice? Why not give it your full attention? Do that by going through this. This is like a doorway, that little breathing practice. It leaves the rest of the world behind, brings in the connection, allows the opportunity. Kids come up with the darndest stuff in those last 20 minutes. They've got all sorts of things they want to say, and they've got questions they want to ask, and we've got to be ready for that surprise and enjoy the moment.
Right. So where can people find your books?
ConsciousStories.com is my preference. We have a full subscription service of a book a month that allows parents to plug in, get coloring in books that come with it, extra reminder magnets. They've all got stickers in the back that are the kind of the core values that we're teaching that keep the messages alive. I think that some of the big animation studios do amazing work, but they don't tell us what they're teaching. And so my choice has been to make it really clear.
I love that.
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited for I want to read them, and I know one day I'll have a grandchild and I'll be reading the books to them.
And you can share
So-
the sticker that you hug from your heart.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes
Thank
me
you
so
so
happy.
much for everything. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.